Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem, breaking down for you last night's 9-game slate NBA action. It was a very nice slate of games, a very entertaining slate. A lot of good games. We saw some games that were almost blowouts, and then teams came back. It was a really, really good, nice game. I actually took off of work last night at the restaurant. I went into work. I'm a waiter, and any of you who lived that server life, you know what I'm talking about. I went to work, and it's kind of our slow season. Right after the holidays, we don't pick up again until around Valentine's Day, and it's in a fine dining restaurant, so people don't come out and spend a lot of money after just having to do all the things they had to do over the holidays. So I go into work. I know it's a 9-game slate cooking up. I really want to touch base with y'all and get in the mix with you one more time before the slate starts. So they say, hey, man, does anybody want to be cut tonight? Me. So got cut, came onto the crib, and ended up jumping on, went live on Twitter with the YouTube Facebook group as well as the VIP subscribers. Shout out to y'all. So went live, really got to chop it up for about 15, maybe 20 minutes right before lineups locked. I was able to, at the very least, keep people settled and not jumping around for all of the perceived value that sometimes open up maybe 30 minutes or hour before lineups locked. I just really advise the guys and gals in the sweatshop to stay with the people that you liked all day long. And it proved to be a really good strategy for them as well as for me. It was a semi-profitable night in the sweatshop. Finished about $6 over a $50 buy-in, so I didn't lose much. And me as a tournament player, I mean, I'm looking to either win big or lose it all. And whenever I can come out of a slate with something, then I know that was a pretty good move for me. So let's go ahead and jump into my Core 4 review. This is where every day I posted a website or at dfsworkshop.com. I posted a website or we sent out emails or whatever, however we can get the information out about my Core 4 plays. And there's two reasons why I do this. Number one, the system that I teach is a Core 4 roster building strategy. And in this strategy, what you do is you select 4 guys that you the target is 6x value. That's what you want. You want 6x value. So if you roster a core of players that like today's core cost me 27.7K in DraftKings salary. At 5x value, which is okay, it's the standard. At 5 times the 50 grand they give you is going to be 250. That's not enough to cash. You need at least 5.5 to hit that 275 cash line, right? Because most nights the cash line is going to be 275, 280, something like that. Tonight I believe it was 277, and that was with a lot of great plays on the board. So that's the goal. The goal for me is to roster 4 guys that are going to get 6x value. Then from there, what we need are 2 different categories of players. We need the industry chalk plays. These are the guys who all of the major sites and everybody are viewing as good plays. They're going to be chalky. A lot of people are going to be on them. We need those 2 guys to stay with the rest of the field. And then there's going to be the 2 injury plays. The 2, not just injury, but the NBA gives us 2 plays because either guys are out, guys are injured, guys get suspended. Things happen along the way to where there's a small pool of players that are going to be stepping in to a new role. And the best way to know who those guys are and how good they are is to watch as many games as possible. Now, you may not be like me. I work at a barbershop during the day. If I'm not cutting hair, I'm watching basketball games on my phone or on a computer, my laptop, or my iPad. At night, every night before I jump into my show, I watch the condensed games while I'm off. Like tonight, I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 2 laptops, 2 phones, and the iPad and the Xbox on TV. I'm watching sometimes 6, 7 games at a time. I watch so much basketball, and that's why when the NBA gives us these plays, when guys are not playing and then somebody got to step in for them, I've seen them before, and that's how it gives me a keen sense on who to roster. Like case in point, well, I'm not flexing. There's no point to flex, but that's the way that we set up our 8-man roster. We start with a core four, guys that we really like, guys that we choose ourselves, guys that before we listen to anybody else. These are the four guys that we like. Then we listen to other people. We listen to the other podcasts. We jump into the chats. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, and we select two industry chalk plays that we like out of the pool that the people give us, that people are going to give us throughout our day. Then we go to what the NBA is saying about, well, this guy's not going to be playing, so this guy's going to be playing. This guy's out. This guy got suspended. This guy, Derrick Rose, just decided to go chill with his family for whatever reason, and we then select two of those guys, and that's how we build our 8-man rosters. Now, that's on the website. I'm giving you that, but we teach that in depth on the website. So I released my core four, and the target for me personally, I need 6x value. I'm trying to get to 300. That's the whole point. I'm trying to turn that 50,000 in DraftKings dollars into 300. Now on FanDuel, you're gonna need a little bit more. You're gonna need like 6x on FanDuel is dope because they give you 60 grand. So that's 360 FanDuel points. So if you can get 5x, you hit 300. But sometimes you need a little bit more than that. So 5.5x is really the target for you on FanDuel because they don't have the double bonuses, the double bonus, the triple bonus, things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into tonight's or last night's core four. We're going to see how they stacked up, see how they did. Now at 5x value, I'm looking at 138 DraftKings points. So if you use my core four and I got you 5x value, I did not do a lot to help you. You had to go out and really carry the rest of the roster, the other four spots. Now, 5.5x value is 152.35 DraftKings points. Now, if you rostered my core four and I got you 5.5x, then I helped you some. More of the heavy lifting was on me. It was up to you to make sure that the other four guys kept pace with the lineup with the 5.5 that I laid out there for you. Now, if my core four gets 6x value, which is 166.2 DraftKings points, you need to tip me because I carried you. And if you did, but if you matched me, then you winning all the money, and I'm shouting you out like I do a lot of times in DFS sweatshops. So let's go ahead and break it down and jump into it. We're gonna start with a play that I really love. See, this is one of the times where it's beautiful because the sweatshop law matches up with the overall slate. Like we know sweatshop law, we can attack the Brooklyn Nets with a good point guard or center. We can attack them with a solid point guard. We can definitely attack the Brooklyn Nets, and with a center, we can do that too. But I chose to go shooting guard. I chose to go point guard here with Dennis Schroeder, 6.7K in salary, 17% owned. That's kind of high on a 9-game slate, so a lot of other cats were on him. He went out and brought us back 41.25 DraftKings points, hit above 6x value. That was a nice play there. And then the shooter, the next guy we're going to talk about is Martin Gortat. Now, this is an area that we're going to be talking about because this was a snafu by me. I disregarded sweatshop law at the center position in my core four just to get the safety of minutes. And that was a very safe play. That was a very DFS play. But sometimes, man, you've got to grab the bull by the horns and just make the right call. Just obey the law. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment because that would have made you a lot more money if I, as the proprietor of the DFS Sweatshop, had stuck to Sweatshop law and just rostered whoever was the center against the Boston Celtics. That's not what I did. I went with Martin Gortat because he was leading all centers in minutes played, and I just wanted to have somebody who was going to be on the court, on the floor in a decent matchup. And at 5.9K in salary, 16% ownership, which again is kind of high because a lot of people were on him. It's a 9-game slate. He had 29 DraftKings points. Now, he did not kill the core four, but he did not help me to help you to that 6x value that I want you to be looking at while you're checking on your DraftKings rosters. The next guy we're going to talk about is another play, probably the worst play in the core four tonight. It was Reggie Jackson at 7.2K, 9% owned. He brought back 29.5 DraftKings points. Now, my logic behind this play was it's a later game. He's not going to be highly owned. He will be my late night hammer in the core four. He's trending up and having a nice string of games leading up to this point in a plus matchup against a subpar Sacramento defense. I looked at Reggie Jackson to go out and at least I didn't peg him for 6x. I want him to at least get me 5.5x and be that safe cog in the core four, and he did not do that tonight. Not a good game we saw from Reggie Jackson at all. Now, the crown jewel of the core four, which was my favorite play all day, when we talked about the player pool last night, and I saw the price on this guy, I said, "Yo, this is a guy who I have got to get in my core four." In my head, he was already in. He was already in. And the funny thing about it is, whenever I pick people and something happens during the day that's going to even bump them up a little bit more, it never happens after lock. It never happens after lock. It always happened when I was on Jimmy Butler the day when he scored the 82 points and was like, "Oh shit." Before lock, oh, we're not going to see. I was on Jimmy Butler all day. Oh shit, we're not going to see Dwayne Wade today. Then everybody was like, oh shit, no Dwayne Wade? We're all on Jimmy Butler. And he goes out and scores 82 points. And that's kind of what happened today. Because I was on Kawhi Leonard before I heard anything about LaMarcus Aldridge not playing, which definitely increased the usage on Kawhi Leonard. And I think really helped him to have a solid game at 7.9K, which is a really nice price on a guy that's good. 24% ownership. Now, because that LMA news came out early in the day, the ownership shot up on him. 24% owned. He goes out and scores 54.25 DraftKings points. An excellent game we saw from Kawhi Leonard. This core four at 27.7K was what we spent on it. So it was fairly expensive because I like to stay around 25, but this wasn't bad at all. 5X, like we said, would have brought you back 138.5. 5.5X would have got you 152.35. And 6X would have got you 166.2. Well, tonight they brought back 154 DraftKings points just on the other side of that 5.5X. So I did help you out. If you used my core 4 and paid up in different spots, got you some good value plays, it definitely took you to the cash line. So that is a check in the box for the DFS Jerusalem. I hope I helped you all out with that one. So we're looking at 5.6x for last night's core 4. Now, we're going to jump into, and I was minus 12.2 of my personal goal, my personal standard of 6x. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. 6x, 7x, it's going to happen. We're bound for it. It's a long season. We're in it every day. It is going to happen. Let's go ahead and jump into the feature for players of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Let's go ahead and talk about them. We're going to start with Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player tonight. And I got to give a pound to anybody who rostered this dude, man. Some nights this guy plays like a fucking bum scrub, but you're going to catch him on nights when he looks like he was the number 2 overall player picked in the draft. And we're talking about Mike Beasley, 2% owned. Count it. 2% owned. Goes out at 3.4K and scores 48.75 DraftKings points. Excellent game from him. Now, what should have put us on him just a little bit was that twinge of uncertainty whether we were going to see a full game from Giannis Antetokounmpo. But, man, this dude went out and balled, bro. Great. I think if Giannis was on the court, he still would have had a solid game. Maybe not 48, but he still would have hit value for you and done well. So, great play. If you got him in your lineups, I know you're standing somewhere close to, if not in the very dead center of the winner's circle. The next play we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? This is the second time this has happened. How did I miss this play? This is crazy. This is my man. This is my man. The hoes must be traveling. He must got hoes in Houston. Shout out to LT, the homie from Houston. Man, Kemba goes out 7% ownership in a minus matchup against Pat Beverly, who has been struggling with a little injuries lately. That's something that we should have been keen on. Goes out at 8K. The price isn't down on him. He's 8K. Goes out and scores 53 DraftKings points. An excellent, super solid game we saw from Kemba Walker. Now, let's talk about the heat check player tonight. This is a guy who I told you to kind of get on. I think it was the last show, or maybe it was on Twitter, somewhere. I remember telling you there's going to be times I can tell you to fire up Lowry and DeRozan. I like the Celtics game, the Celtics and the Toronto Raptors game from last night. So I wanted you to get on both of those guys. But tonight's heat check play tonight is DeMar DeRozan. Oh yeah, 9% owned, 8.3K, goes out and scores 62.75 DraftKings points, 41 real life points. Excellent game we saw from DeMar DeRozan. Now we've come to a point in the show where we have to talk about that one motherfucker. This is a motherfucker who was 13% on. Prime time, late night, hammer status, 7.4K. In LA, could have balled on him, but he decided to be a motherfucking snowflake. Julius, Mr. Randall, tonight, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster you again. I ain't. You on restriction. You got to put together at least a nice 3-game streak of just hitting value for me to fuck with you again. Because I mean, you were creeping up in price. And almost had a triple double the last time out against the same fucking team. And now you at home. You did that in Portland, and you come home and you shit at the crib. And for that tonight, Mr. Randall, you a motherfucking snowflake. Your snowflake ass. How you gonna go out and rob us? Rob us blind. 7.4K. 13% ownership. 22 DraftKings points, brother? Man, you ain't shit. Snowflake ass motherfucker. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, we've come to a point in the show where this is where we do our recap of last night's games. The reason why we do this is because we've got to know where we've been if we're going to know where we're going, okay? So we're going to jump into last night's recap of last night's games. We're going to start in Washington with the Chicago Bulls coming to town. Man, this was a very good game. To say that the Washington Wizards were up against a depleted Chicago Bulls team. We talked a lot about this game particularly because it was the headlining game starting off the night, and I just did not like a lot of that Chicago shit, man. We went through this a couple of weeks back, maybe a week or so back, when the big three just decided to not play. LeBron, Kyrie, and Love, like, you know what, we're just not playing. We're taking that off. We're going to go bowling or some shit. And so everybody's like, oh shit, value, Cleveland value, there's value in Cleveland, and we got DeAndre Liggins, and we got Jordan McRae, and we got Richard Jefferson, and we're rostering, these people are shit. They're shit. They're not good. They're not good at all. They're not good, and we go out and roster them, and that's kind of what I thought was going to take place in Chicago. In some spots, I was wrong, but in the main spot, the spot that everybody was on, I was dead on, because Dougie McBucket is a fucking bum. That dude is officially dead to me. There was a funeral earlier tonight, and at this funeral, there lies Dougie McBuckets. I'm done. I'm done with that dude. Never will I ever roster that dude. So let's go ahead and jump into the recap. We're going to start on the Chicago Bulls side. The aforementioned deceased Dougie McBuckets went out in 23 minutes, had 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and let me tell you, he fucked up the whole flow of the night, because when he picked up them 2 fouls early in the game, and that gave them a reason to go ahead and run old Rajon Rondo ass out there, he went out and fucking balled at 1% owned and kind of threw off the whole fucking night. Thanks again, Dougie, your snowflake ass. You should have been the snowflake of the night, but I don't want to give you that type of honor because you're dead to me. So, Taj Gibson, a player that I really did like. 28 minutes for him. He had 10 points, 12 boards, and an assist. Pretty good game from him. Only shot 3 for 11 from the field. That's 27%. If he makes a couple of more of those shots, he has an even better game. That goes without saying. Robin Lopez was a player that I kind of liked as well. I had him in a couple spots. He played 33 minutes, actually led the team in minutes. 14 points to go with 6 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal and a block. Shooting 5 for 10 from the field. That's okay for a big man, but we need him to score at 66%. Especially that low around the block. That's what we need him there. Jerry Grant was a play that a lot of folks jumped on. It proved to be a decent play. I mean, he was very cheap, 3.2K. Went out in 25 minutes, had 9 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and shot 2 for 5 from the field. That's a 40%, 1 for 1 from 3-point. Michael Carter-Williams had a decent game at his price point, 28 minutes for him. He had 14 and 7 to go with 2 assists and 2 steals. And Denzel Valentine, he's a guy, rookie, that I did watch a lot during the preseason, and I was very tempted to jump on him, but I was just so set in what I already had, and I liked it so much that I left him alone, man. In 28 30 minutes for him. He had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Pretty decent game we saw from him. Rajon Rondo in his 27 minutes had 12 points, 6 assists, 4 boards, and 3 steals. And we also saw a pretty decent game from Bobby Portis. In his 17 minutes, he had 13 points, to go with 7 rebounds, and 1 steal. On the Washington Wizards side, we saw a slow start from the homie John Wall. And I wasn't on him. I had him in a couple lineups. I wrote out 10 lineups, and I think I had him in one or two entries. I didn't go very hard on John Wall just because I thought that the game was kind of going to blow out and it wasn't going to be this close. But Chicago got on their ass quick, and John Wall turned it up another notch. And he did have a nice game: 26 points, 14 assists, 6 boards, 1 steal, and 1 block. He shot 52% from the field, 11 for 21, and the game was going to go into overtime, but he did knock down the game-winning jumper with 5 seconds left to play. We didn't see much of Otto Porter, even though he was out there for 33 minutes. He just was not a part of the offensive game flow, and it shows in the stat line. He had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Shot 50% from the field and 1 for 4 from behind the arc. Markieff Morris dropped 19 points to go with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. Pretty decent game there. He shot 66% from the field, 8 for 12, and hit 3 for 3s, all of them. Good game there from Markieff Morris. Martin Gortat, who we talked about already. Gortat, who we talked about, at that 10 points and 12 rebounds. He shot 5 for 8 from from the field, 62%. That's a pretty decent shooting percentage for him, but we just needed him to do more. We needed some more center type shit. We needed some blocks. We needed some maybe a steal or two, maybe an assist, because he's usually a pretty decent passer. That's what we needed him for, and we did not get that from him tonight, which is why he only scored those 29 DraftKings points. Brad Beal, in his 37 minutes, started out really hot, started shooting red hot, and it just tailed off towards the second half. He had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Not a great game there from him. The next game I'm going to talk about is probably was one of my favorite games on the slate. It was the Toronto Raptors at home against the Boston Celtics. Now, you could have stacked this game from the Toronto side and came out looking really good to start your night. If you would have started with DeMar Carroll, 34 minutes for him. The minutes is up. The price is still down. He was a solid play. 11 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, while shooting 40% from the field. Patrick Patterson played 20 minutes and didn't do shit. And we also saw it. Now, Jonas Valanciunas, Martin Gortat, Jonas Valanciunas. Sweatshop law, baby. You grab the center whenever Boston comes to town. I don't know how we got off of that. I don't know how. And a lot of cats in the sweatshop was like, no, man, why didn't you play Valanciunas? That's the law. They was on it. Some of the cats in the sweatshop was on it. On Twitter, they were showing me like, yo, I started him because you said that it's law. And I was like, oh my God, I only had him in one spot. He should have been in the core forward. Should have been everywhere. What goes out? 23 boards, 18 points, 2 blocks. He shoots 33% from the field, 6 for 18. So he could have had a fucking monster game if he would have shot better from the field. Even though he did have a really nice game there, though. DeMar DeRozan, the Heat check player tonight, in 37 minutes has 41 points, 13 boards to go with 2 steals. That's not something that you're going to see from DeMar DeRozan regularly, man. That goes to show you how bad of a rebounding team this Boston team is. If this game don't teach us nothing else, it teaches us that Boston is as bad as I'm telling you they are against rebounding. They are just that bad. When DeMar DeRozan, a guy who don't do shit but score, can go out and grab 13 boards, that's saying something. A pretty good game we saw from Kyle Lowry as well. 42 minutes for him. He had 24 points, 9 assists. He fell 1 dime shy of that double-double bonus, but he did have 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 58% from the field and 5 for 6 from 3. Lucas Nogueira, in his 21 minutes, had 7 and 3 to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Decent game if you had him at that price point. On the Boston side, not a good game we saw from Isaiah Thomas, and I really wasn't on him very much. I had him in one stack with this particular game. This is a correlation play, but aside from that, I didn't have too much of him. But in his 36 minutes, he had 27 points, 1 rebound, 7 assists. Pretty good game, but not a good game at all from Isaiah. We need more from you, Isaiah. Who had the good game? The guy that really had to get good game was Marcus Smart. In his 37 minutes, he had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block. We saw a really nice game off of the bench from Kelly Olynyk at his price point, 13 points to go at 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block. Jay Crowder stood around and didn't do shit. He hit 1 of 5 3-pointers, had 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Not a good game we saw from Amir Johnson. He only played 16 minutes, but he had 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. And Al Horford had a semi-decent game, 14 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal. Didn't kill you if you had him. He only shot 5 for 11 from the field, 45%. We need more from a big man to actually justify that salary. Gerald Green, guy put me to the side in chat. Was like, man, what do you think about Gerald Green? I was like, yeah, he's a cool dart throw if you want to do it, especially since you don't have Avery Bradley. Maybe he can be like the next guy to jump off of the bench, and he played a pretty good game. 14 points, 5 rebounds. That's not bad for a guy that cheap. The next game we're going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this game was over before it started, man. The Hawks jumped on their ass and they beat them down. That's just what it was. But we did see some quality minutes from some key players on the Atlanta side. Thabo Sefolosha was a guy that I kind of liked and had him in a few spots. He did play 27 minutes, had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 50% from the field. Paul Millsap kind of underwhelmed in his 28 minutes. He had 14 and 8 with 4 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. Dwight Howard had 14 points and 16 boards to go with a block in his 27 minutes. But we just didn't have to see much from these guys. The game was over. The only guy that really went out and exerted energy and just kind of balled on them was Dennis Schroeder, a guy that was in the core four. He played 29 minutes, had 19 points, 1 rebound, 10 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 50% from the field, 2 for 4 from 3 as well. Kent Bazemore is dead to me. He did nothing, had 6 points and 3 rebounds and 2 steals. That ain't shit. And Chris Humphries was a pleasant surprise off of the bench. In his 16 minutes, he had 13 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pretty good game there from him. On the Brooklyn side, you know that Brook Lopez didn't grab a rebound in the first half? And he finished the game with his big ass with 2 damn rebounds. 32 minutes. He had 2 boards, 20 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Not a great game there from him. I saw a pretty decent game from Bojan Bogdanovic. In his 25 minutes, he had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal while shooting 50% from the field. Sean Kilpatrick underwhelmed, man. He was a guy that I kind of liked going into this game because I knew we could attack Atlanta on the perimeter. He had 14 and 5 to go with 1 steal. Isaiah Whitehead did get to start in this game and played 26 minutes. He had 7 and 2 to go with 3 assists and 2 blocks. And we saw a pretty decent game from Karis LeVert, man. He's an up-and-coming player. He had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and shot 4 for 9 from the field in his 23 minutes. The next game we're going to talk about is the Houston Rockets at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this is funny because I was on a Harden fade today, and it was a kind of, I didn't mean to do it. It just, as I was building my rosters, he just wasn't a part of it. There were just so many guys that I wanted, and I really were high on that I just didn't feel the need to forsake them, go up and get Harden, and then come back down and grab, your Jerian Grants and your Michael Beasleys, which proved to be my undoing today on today's slate, which is why I didn't cash very big. But Michael Carter Williams, man, did not score a fucking point. I'm going to say that again. MKG, in 33 minutes, an NBA player, didn't score a fucking point. He has 6 rebounds and 4 assists. What a horrible game. Bro, you're almost on the list. There's 2 of you that are dead to me. You're almost on the list. That was horrible. Marvin Williams had a really nice game. 16 and 8 to go with 1 steal and shot 60% from the field in his 25 minutes. Roy Hibbert was just a space saver to start the game. 18 minutes for him. 4 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks, nothing. Jeremy Lamb was probably the industry chalk play on the evening, but he had a really nice game. 11 points with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, while shooting 33%, 4 for 12 from the field, and 1 for 4 from behind the arc. Kemba Walker, man, he had a beast of a game. 36 minutes. Kemba brought him back by himself, bro. They was getting blowed out. But my man Kemba, he wasn't letting that happen. Without Nick Batum, he wasn't letting that happen. And he balled out. Had 25 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, while shooting 9 for 20 from the field. That's 45%. And 5 for 11 from behind the arc. That is 66% shooting from behind the arc. We had a really nice game from Marco Bellinelli, 15 and 3 to go with 6 assists. Spencer Hawes chipped in 16 and 5 to go with 4 assists. And Frank Kaminsky had 22 minutes, 22 points to go with 3 rebounds, 1 assist in 27 minutes. Pretty good game, pretty good effort from the Charlotte Hornets side. This is a scrappy team, and I said that before. They're not going to get blown out. There's something about this team. They're very scrappy. They're very like blue collar. They're like the sweatshop. Like they are a fucking team, and they don't go out without swinging. So I didn't see them getting blown out at all in this game. Next game I'm going to talk about San Antonio Spurs at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. This was probably the most surprising win on the slate. We saw Milwaukee, man, go to San Antonio and beat their ass without their best player, so to speak. Really nice game there. We only saw Giannis for 9 points. 9 minutes, but he had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, no points for him and 1 block. We knew not to fuck with Giannis after the reports of him being a game time decision, and then Coach Kidd is like, well, he if he doesn't play very well, then we're just gonna sit him down for the rest of the game. That lets you know right there, not to fuck with that, and that should have put us on the who that scored all them points over there play tonight, which was Michael Beasley. In his 34 minutes, he had 28 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Shot 11 from 18 from the field. Did a lot of his work down by the basket, but he did hit one 3-point field goal. Pretty good game there from him. We saw a nice game from Malcolm Brogdon, man. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 block in his 25 minutes. A decent game from Jabari Parker. In 34 minutes, he had 22 points to go with 7 rebounds and 3 assists with a steal. Greg Monroe had 14 and 9 off of the bench, also 4 assists, and shot 53% from the field, going 7 for 13. On the San Antonio side, the homie Kawhi Leonard balled out. He balled out. 30 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Shot 62% from the field, 2 for 3 from behind the arc. 36 minutes for him. Pretty good game there. David Lee was a play that, when the LaMarcus Aldridge news broke, a lot of us shifted our coverage over to David Lee, and he really didn't disappoint. He had 10 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, and 1 block while shooting 83% from the field, going 5 of 6. Paul Gasol only had 6 points, but he did grab 11 boards and dish out 4 dimes in 28 minutes. Not a horrible game from him. Danny Green, man, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block. He shot 4 3-pointers. We made 4 3-pointers and shot 9 of them. That wasn't bad. Pretty decent game we saw from Danny Green. He's getting the shooting stroke back. Tony Parker was actually a really nice play. 14 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, while shooting 46% from the field. That's a really nice game from him. Not too much else to speak of on the San Antonio side. Let's move along to the Utah Jazz at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this wasn't a surprise to me, just because Utah at home, man, they're just a different animal at home. There's a few places where if you tell me, oh man, you know, Memphis beat Golden State, were they at home? You know what I mean? There's a few home places that are just so electric and so in tune and so involved in the actual team that it does give them an edge whenever they do play at home. And Utah Jazz is one of those teams. So when Cleveland went there, I mean, I'm not surprised that they did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to start on the Cleveland side, where LeBron James in 36 minutes had 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals while shooting 50% from the field. He was doing everything he could to win this game. Kevin Love in his 37 minutes had 12 and 9 to go with 3 assists. Tristan Thompson double-doubled, 12 and 12 to go with an assist for him. And also, not a great game you saw from Kyrie Irving, but wasn't a snowflake. But he had 20 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists with a steal in his 39 minutes. Not too much else we saw from the Cleveland side. Let's look at the Utah side right now, where Gordon Hayward had a really decent game. 28 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, all against LeBron James, shooting 83% from the field, 10 for 12, 4 for 5 from 3. Really nice shooting day out we saw for Gordon Hayward. Derek Favors, 12 points for him, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pretty decent game there. Rudy Gobert did double-double in his 36 minutes. He pulled down 14 boards and scored 11 points to go with an assist, 3 steals, and 1 block. Pretty decent game we saw from George Hill, 13 and 7 to go with 3 assists in his 36 minutes. But probably the value play of this game was a guy that I was on all day long. I was screaming from the rooftops, just saying, hey, man, the dude is going to ball out at some point. And I had a good feeling that tonight was going to be the night. Rodney Hood, 35 minutes for him. He had 18 points to go with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 46% from the field and 4 for 10 from three. That's a lot of three-point shots to take, Rodney Hood. Slow your roll. But, yo, he was an excellent play, man. And I saw it coming just because, you know, we love to look for value. And sometimes value is sitting right there with a good player. You know, value just doesn't mean, oh, a cheap guy that never plays that's going to get a chance to play. That's not always value. Value sometimes is understanding the ebb and flow of players. And if you ever play sports, you know sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not. Some games you get up for, some games you don't. And I really thought this was a game that he was going to get up for, especially after having those lackluster performances in a row, coming off of that ankle injury that he had. He did go out and had a really nice game. And we didn't see much else off of the bench besides Trey Lyles. In his 17 minutes, he had 12 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist while shooting 36% from the field. Not great there. The next game I'm going to talk about is the LA Lakers at home against the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I had a feeling that this game was going to be easily and handily won by the Portland Trail Blazers, and I thought it would come more on the back of the Portland backcourt. I thought this was going to be a Dame and C.J. McCollum show, and that's just not what it was. People like Mo Harkless went out and balled 14 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 3 blocks while shooting 83% from the field. Al-Farouq Aminu, he didn't double-double, but he did a lot, man. 8 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. Really nice game from him. Mason Plumlee didn't get to play much. He only played 24 minutes. He had some early foul trouble. He did score 11 points and have 7 boards, with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. C.J. McCollum in his 33 minutes had 25 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals, while shooting 10 for 18 from the field. That's a 55% clip. Really good there. And Dame Lillard, man, didn't have a horrible game, but it just wasn't a Dame game. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, going to L.A. and just wrecking the fuck out of them. He didn't do that. In 31 minutes, he had 20 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, and 1 block. Didn't have to play the entirety of the game because the game was over midway through the fourth quarter, and we all knew it. Evan Turner did have a decent game, 6 and 3 to go with 7 assists, and Ed Davis had 8 points and 8 boards to go with a steal. Pretty nice game at his price point. On the LA Lakers side, we saw some nice point guard play in this game, especially coming from D'Angelo Russell, man. He didn't do like one thing particularly great, but he did a lot of the small things. The culmination of it was a decent fantasy performance. He played 30 minutes and had 9 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block while shooting a dismal 4 for 14 at his 28% from the field. So if he shoots better, number one, they're still in this game, and number two, his fantasy performance is much better than it was, but it was okay. We could deal with that. Julius Randle, man, with his snowflake ass, he did have 10 boards and 3 assists, but he only scored 6 points, played 26 minutes. It was a long stretch where he was just on the bench, and that was kind of whack, man. I'm not getting what Luke Walton is doing with this team. I really don't get it. This is one of the best players you have on your team, supposedly. Why is he sitting on the bench so much? I didn't get that. That didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Luol Deng, in his 29 minutes, had 14 points and 6 rebounds to go with 1 steal. Not a great game there. And Brandon Ingram had a solid game, 25 minutes for him. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting 50% from the field. The next game we're going to talk about is Golden State Warriors at the Oracle taking on the Miami Heat. Now, this game was very close for a long period. Like, they didn't look like they were going to blow them out. And then they did what they do. They just turned it on, and we saw some hot shooting from Steph Curry, and they just got it done at the Oracle. We're going to start on the Miami side, where we saw a 20-20-20 from Hassan Whiteside, 28 points, 20 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. The kid is back, man. That was a really great game. I'm glad to see that because I love the roster Whiteside when he's under 9K and playing well, and I think that's going to be the case the next time out. Really nice game there. 76% shooting from the field, going 13 of 17. Solid game there from Hassan Whiteside. I hope the roster up next time he's out. Goran Dragic in his 37 minutes had 17 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal. So a nice game off the bench from Tyler Johnson, 18 and 7 to go with 3 assists. And Josh Johnson only had 14 points to go with 2 rebounds and 6 assists with 2 steals. Not a great game we saw there from him. On the Golden State Warriors side, Kevin Durant didn't have to do much. I mean, he played 36 minutes, but he only had 28 points and 8 rebounds to go with a steal and 2 blocks. We didn't have to see much from him, and we really didn't. Draymond Green, man, 13 and 9 to go with 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks while shooting 36% from the field. That is not like Draymond Green. He took 3 threes, missed them all, and ended up shooting 4 for 11 from the field. Steph Curry, man, almost triple double double. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. That's an old school Curry line. We needed to see that. That was a good game from him. I got a lot of questions before lineups locked. Do I go Ian Clark or Andre Iguodala? You see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shit like that. Ian Clark or Andre Iguodala. Why the fuck would you roster Ian Clark? Like, the dude is not good. He's not a good NBA player. Andre Iguodala was once a very good NBA player. He's just a little older, and he's going to see probably more minutes off of the bench. So, of course, Andre Iguodala was the better play, and he played 28 minutes, 6 more minutes than Ian Clark, had 9 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, pretty decent game there for his price point, shot 66% from the field. I can live with that. Ian Clark, on the other hand, played 22 minutes, had 10 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. See, the usage doesn't automatically go to the guy that steps in the starting role. Patrick McCaw, 18 minutes. He started the game and only played 18 minutes, had 3 points and 3 rebounds. A lot of times, especially if you look at those chess playing coaches where they like to keep the team balanced and they have 2 teams. They treat the team like 2 teams. First team, second team. You've got some coaches that do that. Jason Kidd is one of them. That's why he can have like one of the better players on the team just sitting on the bench chilling. That happens, and I don't know why. So, next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Sacramento Kings at home against Detroit Pistons. This is the game that I really thought I was going to get my late night hammer from. That proved to not be the case, as Reggie Jackson stunk up the joint and almost earned himself his very first Snowflake of the Night award. But he only played 30 minutes. He had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists to go with 8 for 15 shooting. Not a horrible shooting night, but he just didn't take a lot of shots. And he did not do a lot in peripherals, man. He didn't have assists, didn't have rebounds. Just didn't play a great game at all. Tobias Harris played a nice one, 18 and 3 to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Pretty decent game there. We saw a fairly decent game from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. We talked about him playing streaky, shooting well in streaks, and that's what he did. He had 21 points, led the team in scoring, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. 50% from the field. Really good game shooting there, and was 6 of 8 from three-point land. Pretty nice shooting there, I would say, for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Andre Drummond had 9 points and 12 boards, 1 assist, and 3 steals with 7 blocks. And that's what saved his fantasy performance. 7 blocks. Awesome game there defensively from Andre Drummond. 1 point, and he's double bonus. It's awesome game for him there. On the Sacramento side, we saw a nice game from Boogie. Really nice game. 13 boards, 24 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 8 for 14 from the field. That's 57%. Pretty nice game there. He did take 5 3-pointers and made 4 of them. Maybe he heard me. He shot a 3-point shot pretty well tonight. But you know what that tells a player like him? I am a 3-point shooter. And now he's going to be doing that shit all the fucking time. Fuck. Rudy Gay, underwhelmed. 37 minutes for him, 11 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. And just wasn't moving the way we normally see Rudy Gay move. I think there may be something still there to the injury he had. Anthony Tolliver, in a revenge game against his old team, had 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Pretty good game there at that price point. Now that we've done the recap of last night's games, let's go ahead, since we're pressed for time, let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing for tomorrow's 6-game NBA slate. Let's do it. And, the reason why we do this is because we just want to, develop that pool of players in our head. We want to develop that pool of players in our head. That way, when we can shrink that pool to something that we like and we can get down on paper, we can move that to a core of 4 guys, and then we can really start our roster building strategies and our processes that way. Just to show you my very best DraftKings lineup. Now, this was not a core 4 lineup. This was one of the ones that I had it entered in a few DraftKings lineups. I mean, a few tournaments. This was the stack one that I made from when I said that I really liked DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, and I wanted to go with a 2 backcourt stack. just because I wanted to catch some up-paced, up-tempo games where I thought that both backcourts would feed off of each other and play really well. And that's why we've got Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. They coupled together to get me over 100 points together. And then I went with CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, who kind of underwhelmed in a blowout game. I didn't really didn't get what I wanted from them. I wanted to avoid the whole Chicago shit with the guys that were less known and were becoming chalky plays because everybody was going to be on them, like the Jerry Grants and shit. So I went with Taj Gibson, who scored 30 DraftKings points, a really good showing from him, and Robin Lopez, who scored 26 DraftKings points. I got a piece of the Boston game with Kelly Olynyk. I liked him. He did make value, scored 21 DraftKings points. But what let me down in this lineup was Allen Crabbe. Allen Crabbe not playing well in that blowout really cost me a trip to the 300 club. This lineup finished with 278.75 DraftKings points. It did cash as the cash line was 277. So I was able to make a little bit more than my buy-in back. But let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing for tomorrow. And we're just going to take a look at it, man. We're just going to take a quick look at them. And we know the games start at 7 o'clock tomorrow. That is 4 o'clock Pacific time. And as we can see already, the most expensive guy on the slate is going to be James Harden. Okay. I can get this thing right. Here you go. So we got a lot of really good plays on this slate tomorrow. I'm gonna pull it closer just so you can get a good look at it. Here we are. Now we're starting with James Harden against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's at Minnesota. This is the third-ranked DVP against point guards. Who cares? I like James Harden tomorrow at 12K. We've got Russell Westbrook playing against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is the number one team against the point guard position now. For that reason, I won't be on Westbrook tomorrow. I won't at all. I won't. I'm not going to be rostering him at all. As a matter of fact, I won't. He's a straight fade to me right now. LeBron James, 9.7, coming off a loss, but it is a back-to-back. Somebody from Cleveland could rest. We want to be on the lookout for that. If everybody goes, I do like LeBron James tomorrow. Karl Anthony Towns at 9.5 is most certainly in play at home against the Houston Rockets. Chris Paul, yes, against the Orlando Magic, 9.4. I do like that. John Wall, yes, 9.2. I'm all over John Wall tomorrow. Isaiah Thomas is a play I do like at 8.9. I can get behind Isaiah Thomas in this spot. I definitely can. He's somebody I can get behind in this spot. Let's move it closer so you can. There you go. Yeah, I can get behind Isaiah Thomas at 8.9. I like him tomorrow. Dame Lillard at 8.5 up against Kyrie defense. The price is down just a little bit from last night. Yes. Kyrie Irving. Yes. This is a stackable game, I think. I think this is a stackable game. And see, on a 6-game slate, that's right in that area where you could do some game stacks and really it could really pay off. Uh, 5 or less, we have to stack. Like that's what we're doing. But 6 games, you can stack if it is applicable. And I think tomorrow is one of those times because we've got some really juicy games going on. I do like Kyrie Irving at 8.2. Kevin Love, of course, is in play 8.1. Joel Embiid on any other slate. If the slate was 2 games larger, I wouldn't like Joel Embiid. But because it's only a 6-game slate and there's not many places to go, even though he's got that minutes restriction that he did exceed the last time out, I do like him at 8K. CJ McCollum, yes, is in play at 7.8. Carmelo Anthony is a no for me tomorrow. I'm not going to be rostering Carmelo when I like Porzingis because I don't think they're going to have good games at the same time. And I do kind of like Porzingis tomorrow at 7.5. The price is up just a little bit from that 7.1 it was the other day, but I think I still can fuck with Porzingis tomorrow. Blake Griffin is a no for me. Of course, he's out. DeAndre Jordan, yes, 7K. I like that. That's a very easy stack. Him and Chris Paul together. That's very easy. Mike Conley, yes, against Russell Westbrook. I do like that. Marcus Saul, yes, is in play at 6.8. Even though if it's 10th ranked defense against the center position, I still like Marcus Saul tomorrow. Al Horford, yes, I like Al Horford, son. I like Al Horford. Vucevic is a no for me. Zach LaVine may not play tomorrow. He is questionable. We want to keep an eye on that. 6.5 is the price on him. Bradley Beal, I don't like him tomorrow against Avery Bradley if he comes back, or Marcus Smart if he does start. Andrew Wiggins, yes, I like him at 6.4. Serge Ibaka, he may not play tomorrow. He is questionable, but if he does, I still don't like him. Marcus Smart, yes, at 6.3. I like that. Otto Porter, yes. Now we can attack stretch up low. We can attack Boston rebounding the basketball. And I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right here. Make a lineup. Wall, Beal. Wall, Porter, Gortat. Just do it. Just do it. I like Otto Porter tomorrow at 6.2. Ersan is definitely in play for me at 6.1. I like him. Martin Gortat, I was a day early to the party. I guarantee you he's going to ball out tomorrow. The price is up from 5.9 to 6K, but I don't care about that. We can attack Boston rebounding the ball. I love him tomorrow. Mason Plumlee, normally he would be in play for me, but against Tristan Thompson, who is a very active defender in the low block, I don't think that, I don't think that we're going to see that almost triple double, that 11 points, 10 boards, 7 assists. I don't think we're going to see that from Mason Plumlee tomorrow. Evan Fournier is in play at 6K, definitely. Robert Covington, he's a streaky player, had a pretty decent game out last time. I'm going to give him a shot. Derrick Rose, I'm not fucking with that. Eric Gordon will probably be out tomorrow. Vic Oladipo, yes, he's in play for me at 5.9, even though he's going to be against Tony Allen defense. I just think the pace of the game, I want to get a piece of this game. I want to get a piece of Westbrook, and I got to do it somehow. I'm not going to take Westbrook, so I may take a look at Vic Oladipo. Avery Bradley probably going to be out tomorrow, 5.8. Zebo, yes, 5.8. I like him. Trevor Ariza is a no for me. Steven Adams is a no for me. If I'm going to attack Memphis, I'm going to attack Memphis' second team at the center position, not Marc Gasol. So I won't be taking Steven Adams. I'd rather go with Enes Kanter tomorrow. Pat Beverly at 5.6. That's a yes for me. Rick Rubio, he had an awesome game out last time. A lot of people are going to want to chase that. I'm not fucking with it. Markieff Morris, 5.6. Yes, I like him tomorrow. I'm gonna have a Washington stack, like maybe a 4 deep Washington stack tomorrow. I like that. JJ Redick at 5.5. He's in play for me. TJ McConnell. Ignore what it says about the Knicks DVP against point guards. I'm starting to think this is a fucking lie because we're shitty. And TJ McConnell can ball against us. I think TJ McConnell has like arrived as a solid, decent NBA player, and 5.5K is not too much to have a matchup against the New York Knicks. I do like him. Elfrid Payton probably is not going to be playing tomorrow, so DJ Augustine is going to be in play some. Gorgie Jang, even though it's a third-ranked defense against the power forward, I still like him. Montrezl Harrell, no, I don't like Montrezl Harrell. Jay Crowder, a lot of people are not going to be on him tomorrow, but I think he can come out and have a decent game. The price is down, 5.2. I kind of like Jay Crowder tomorrow. Aaron Gordon is a no for me. Cantor, yes. Al-Farouq Aminu, I like him at 5.4. Ryan Anderson can be a good play at 5K. Tony Allen, I kind of like Tony Allen tomorrow at 4.9. I would like them more if they were at home, but I kind of like Tony Allen. Brandon Jennings is definitely in play. Most certainly in play tomorrow at 4.9 against the Philadelphia perimeter defense. Yes, he's in play. Clint Capella still out. Tristan Thompson is a no for me. Joakim Noah, the 26th ranked defense against the center position. No, I don't want anything to do with Joakim Noah. Coach's son, yes, he's in play at 4.7. Dario Saric, yes, he's in play at 4.6. Kyle Korver is a no for me. Allen Crabbe is a no for me. Jermichael Green is a no for me. Jahlil Okafor is out of the rotation in Philadelphia. Mo Buckets, yeah, 4.2. I kind of like that. Raymond Felton, no for me. Nerlens Noel, the price is up to 4.2, but I still like him against the New York Knicks. Jamal Crawford, yes, at 4.1. Amir Johnson, no. Sergio Rodriguez, no. Mo Harkless, no. Courtney Lee, no. Robeson, no. Kelly Oubre, no. Evan Turner, yes, at 3.9. I do like him. The price is down. I like that for him. Nick Stauskas, yes, at 3.9. That's a salary saving play that we can use. Shabazz Muhammad at 3.8 is a good play as a salary saver. Kelly Olynyk, I like him. I always like Kelly Olynyk. He's always around 3K and he just gets you 20 points. So I do like him tomorrow. Channing Frye, 3.6, no. TJ Augustine is probably going to come up on a lot of people's radar if we don't see Elfrid Payton because he's going to get diminished in the usage. But this is going up against Chris Paul, man. But 3.6K, I mean, how much do you really need from DJ Augustine to return value on a 3.6K, right? Shane McClellan, 3.6, no. Gerald Henderson, yes, at 3.5. I like him tomorrow. Sam Decker can be a nice salary saving play at 3.5. Kyle Quinn, no. Cole Aldridge, Jordan McRae. Vince Carter at 3.3. That is very interesting right there. I like Vince Carter. Justin Holiday is a no for me. Domantas Sabonis, he is a starter, but 3.2. Yeah, he's in play if you're looking for like a salary saving punt play. Ron Baker has been getting a lot of love in this offense as well too, so he's a nice salary saver you can look at. Let's see if you got somebody that's 3K that we can look at. Okay, Troy Daniels, 3K flat against Oklahoma City. That's a play that you can definitely look to tomorrow. I like him. I like him tomorrow. Ed Davis, 3K. If the game kind of blows out, you're gonna see a lot of Ed Davis in the game. I like him. Chris Dunn, same thing. 3K if the game blows out. Cam Payne, 3K. You can look at him. So Gerald Green, 3K. You can look at him. So there are a few very cheap plays that we can turn to on tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into the point total reviews for tomorrow. A few of the games on the slate do not have point totals yet released as there's still late-breaking injury news that needs to be mulled over. So we're going to start in Philadelphia where the New York Knicks will be coming to town. My New York Knicks will be going to Philadelphia tomorrow. This is a 209.5 point total with the Knicks giving up 2 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I don't know how anyone would think that we are in the position to give up any points, especially on the road. But a few plays I like on the Knicks side. I like Brandon Jennings in this game, and I also like Kristaps Porzingis. Those are going to be the only two guys that I really give that strong consideration to. On the Philadelphia side, you can look at Joel Embiid, you can look at Robert Covington, you can look at Ersan Ilyasova, you can look at T.J. McConnell if you like. There's a few good plays on the Philadelphia side, especially at home that I kind of like. They're a home dog, only by 2 points. The game should be pretty close. We can look to quite a few of the Philadelphia players. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Washington Wizards going to Boston. Now, both teams just played last night, so we want to keep our ear to the ground to see if there's any injury or rest news. Now, there's no point total for this game because we don't know the status yet on Avery Bradley. At this moment, he is questionable. He may not play. If Avery Bradley does play, I do. With the baby. The baby. I'm ready for it this time. Sorry about that again, man. Daddy duties. But if everybody does play, it makes me like Isaiah Thomas a little bit more. I wouldn't roster Avery Bradley coming off of that injury, just because I don't like to roster guys off the first game back from an injury. So I would definitely take a shot at Isaiah Thomas tomorrow, going up against that John Wall defense. He's a guy who I really like, but his goal is to score and facilitate. He's not a top flight defender, John Wall, that is. We already talked about what I want to do on the Washington side. I think there's so many rosterable players there. I'm stacking them. I'm going 4 deep in the stack. That's just the way I'm going to play it. Washington tomorrow. We know we can attack Boston rebounding the ball. Valanciunas showed us that tonight. So that's definitely an area that we can attack. Next game is going to be the Houston Rockets at the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's no point total yet for this game either, because we do have some injury news as far as Zach LaVine, as well as we may be looking at some injury news for Patrick Beverly too. So some plays that I do like in this game. If we don't see Zach LaVine, I think that automatically puts Andrew Wiggins in play. I like Karl Anthony Towns to attack Houston in the front court. James Harden is a player we can always go to. He's going to ball out again tomorrow, especially if they try to put Ricky Rubio on him, which I don't think they will. But I really like him tomorrow. Now, I wouldn't fuck with any small forward on Houston side, because small forwards just do not play well against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So next game we're going to talk about is the Memphis Grizzlies going to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. This is a 204.5 point total, and the fact that Oklahoma City is home is going to, lead a lot of people to roster Westbrook. I'm just not doing it, man. This team plays such a slow pace, and it's just so hard to get them to run offensively and to like really, run the score up. We rarely see that from the Memphis Grizzlies. They want to keep the score low. They want to play that grinded out style, and they have the perfect players to do so. From Tony Allen to Zebo coming off of the bench. I just don't see. I think the 204 point total, I would bet the under in this game, actually. I don't think we're going to see a high score from this game at all. So on the Oklahoma City side, my favorite play would probably be Enes Kanter, with maybe sprinkling in with a little Vic Oladipo. On the Memphis side, I do like Conley. I do like Gasol. I will be starting them together in a couple of lineups. Also, you can look at Tony Allen as well. Him and Depot are fairly decent defenders, and they could cancel each other out. But if I had to choose between the two of them, because Tony Allen was such lower priced than Depot, I would definitely go with Tony Allen. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Orlando Magic going to LA to take on the Clippers. This is a 209 point total, with the LA Clippers giving up 9.5 points. He he's one of the safest guys in the league in blowouts, because he just means so much to this team, and he does so much from game to game, that I can definitely see. Oh, excuse me, baby. You okay? Say hey. She just woke up. She like, what the hell is going on here? Excuse me. But I can definitely see Chris Paul having a monster game against the Orlando Lakers at home. Excuse me, Orlando Magic at home. Definitely. 9.5 points is the point spread. 209 is the point total. I would like to fire up Paul as well as DeAndre Jordan. I like them both in this game. I think DeAndre Jordan's going to have a field day, a lot of rebounds, easy double-double at 7K. I like that a lot. On the Orlando side, there's not too much that I would roster. I don't think I would take anybody from the Orlando side. There's nobody that I really trust, especially now. You like somebody in Orlando? Okay. Especially if we don't see Serge Ibaka, who do you play? Biyombo? Who do you play? Do you play Aaron Gordon, who's like one of the most inconsistent young players in the league? I wouldn't take a chance on it. It's only a 6 game slate. There's not a lot of places to go. I'm going to go places where I think I can get that guaranteed points. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. Now, there are no injury news yet as far as in this game. I just think Vegas doesn't like to set point totals for the Cleveland Cavaliers until they find out if they're all going to be playing. So I'm going to give you a few scenarios. If LeBron sits, I like Kyrie and Love. If Love sits, I like Kyrie. If LeBron if LeBron sits, I like Kyrie and Love. If Love sits, I like Kyrie. If Kyrie sits, I like LeBron. That's the way I play them every time when they do the sitting game. Tristan Thompson also can be a fairly decent player in this game. On the other side, I like Dame and I do like CJ McCollum. Those would be the only places where I'm really going to go hard on the Portland side. Even though Al-Farouq Aminu does deserve consideration, he had a really nice game out last time. And Mason Plumlee just doesn't do it for me in this matchup against Tristan Thompson. I don't think we're going to see a really great game from him. So, this has been your DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow us on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. This is the DFS baby, Carly Simone. Say hello. Okay, she doesn't feel like talking, but she did wake up. So I'm going to go tend to her. I want you all to have a wonderful and profitable Tuesday. Wednesday. I hope you had a profitable Tuesday. If you would like to support the show, you can do so by hitting my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. If you want to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, you can do that at the website or on the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. You can also copy from some sweatshop swag, man. There's going to be a link in the description to the video. It's where you can get that sweatshop swag. Keep it 300. It's all good there. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so much for all the support that you have given us so far. Have a wonderful evening. And remember, in the sweatshop, we always do what? Keep it 300.